남자는 인생길이 있잖아.
나무는 싫어마.
인생길이 있지. 라자리 있지. 인생길이 있지. 아테는 인생길이 있는 게 네가 스스로 스스로가 어때? 파트 컴퓨터에 다른 인생이 있는 야. 순번 리비 남자네 인생길이 있는 남기 미다스 주도라. 스스로가 서베 파트 컴퓨터에 다른 인생이 거는 도제다고 띵인질라더니 녀몬징기 디바 토바 쳬비줄기 판데 다쯤에 리봉도 제도스 간제 녀몬 렌지기 제텔라 토바스고 제상 디마 빵용도 갈라 렌지기 제데 빵용도 갈라 다 밀담 차로 그러다 디 인디갈라 디 녀몬징게네 베 디바데 토바 쳬비줄기 판게레스 에닌 다쯤에 리봉도 제그레스 세르토 rangalta rangal region se rangal seruto be rangal region namli ta ko nyinde de mara chete ta bagi to kansa ke dame tena ne kansa rangal de binje ke dame patati om ko gare seruto be rangal namgi kansa rangal de binje ke dame tonwa tope tawati kalchen yala sobe sonam ki so sa de pelde solam chimbe menchetu nyam solani jelam trane milo lon ke parten to chilangon to chetos de gala jelam te temo zopa chechos jelam na jake jinane jelam te te ta ngaran ze meji tana tang boto chunchun yo ta te so de shi ngalte toni to ba ngalte so de shi oda te indi te ni ani milo lon ke parten chi gala nyamja la tento chi gala ni pagi tento chi la ni milo longon de chi gres milo lon se digala rangel ki milo longon de chi gres la prakalo tati ke bardo tai jandale ma memben da chobanam ta da cham situ khasan ba da cham situ na ni memben da cham na rang ku phang la nyam ni yunju par ta yunju se de khasan yuzon pagi 통방님은 군조숨 빵와라 정근지라 윤주스 거래스 통방님은 군조숨 시리가라 대좀 용문전지 대간라니 인직다지 대간라 아니 tulumtu 전쟁이 따와 배나 어디 대숨도 방겨래 윤주주가 방지 소도 때 빵와 정근지라 윤주스 거래 빵원 디부 톱딩지라 ni gyunju dene se gora tate chini gyunju to kirbe sipanyambe chichin so khele nos ta gyunju par ba da jom pantola ningene gyunju par do dugu ares etini gyunju no wala nyam mare sore padan dene khele ngora chata mauri ta nyindela gening ishu nyindegi gening ishu da junegi gen namja khele junegi zidgala yuju juba gyunjun dene chirong juba chirong dene chimyong juba chimyong dene rajam juba rajam dene se to sene dene ji de juba ji to suyare tetela yuju ke june ge se wa june ge bo kanola phabe khabar to ta june ge bo kanoina ta phalam phonam tom de kimbe in ko Palam Sadala Tonam Thumbedi.
Page 210. Assertions on the fruits of the path. So, according to this school, Creative Exposition School, after going through the practice of the path, what one will attain is the fruit or the result of this path. And for the result of path, I'm going to read the text here. Those of the hearer lineage become familiar with the 16 attributes of the Four Noble Truths, impermanence, and so forth during 3 lifetimes or more. By relying on the Vajra-like meditative stabilization of the hearer path of meditation, they finally abandoned the afflictive obstructions by seizing the obtaining causes, the potentialities that cause one to have those afflictive emotions. They then manifest the fruit of becoming a full destroyer. On the great path of accumulation, and below, rhinoceros-like solitary realizers practice the realization that the person is empty of substantial existence in the sense of being self-sufficient. So it is, a lack of selflessness of person, but within the selflessness of person, you can see here it's selflessness of persons in the sense of being self-sufficient. So it's not exactly the same as the lack of selflessness. They do this in conjunction with amassing a collection of merit for 100 great eons and so forth. And then in one sitting, they actualize the stages from the heat level on the path of preparation through and including the path of no more learning. So the heat level of the path is when you look at the 5 paths, path of accumulation and path of preparation. The path of preparation has 4 stages, and the heat is the first of the path of preparation. And what it is called heat because it's like, for the understanding of the emptiness, you are not selflessness of person. You are feeling, the heat of that, that knowledge, at this level, heat. Therefore, it's called heat. Heat, peak, patience, supreme dharma. These are the 4 levels of the path of preparation. And from the first stage of the path of preparation, then in one sitting, as said here, they actualize the stages from the beginning of the path of accumulation. Path of preparation through and including path of no more learning. No more learning is the highest path. Page 211, next page. Furthermore, the proponents of the great exposition assert the existence of types of 4 destroyers who degenerate, etc., because they are lesser vehicle for destroyers who fall from their abandonment of the obstructions and their realizations of the 4 truths, whereupon they become stream enterers. And if you remember, we mentioned these stream enterers before. Stream enterers, for the stream enterers, the main obstacles that they eliminate at this stage, we mentioned 3. The first one is the ignorant doubt, or doubt which is ignorant, or suspicion. The second is view of transitory collection, and then view of transitory collection. View of transitory collection, and then third is relying upon conduct or behavior which is not correct, or relying upon mistaken practice. That's another way of saying. So these are the 3 things that they eliminate, or that they separate, that is able to separate from these 3 negativities, or ignorance, or obstacle at the path of at the stream enterers. You can read the note and also feel free to ask if not clear. With respect to hearers, they enumerate a presentation of the 20 members of the spiritual community, along with the 8 approaches and abiders. However, they do not assert that anyone simultaneously abandons the afflictive emotions. 8 approaches and 8 abiders. These are, Geshe just mentioned the 8, and I will just read these 8. Enter into the fruit of a stream winner, abide in the fruit of stream winner, enter into the fruit of one's returner, abide there are 4 enterers and 4 abiders. So enter into the fruit of stream winner. I don't know. Maybe it's in your note. I don't. I didn't read all. Yeah, it's on the page 212. 8 approaches and abiders are beings who are approaching or abiding in the fruit of stream entrance. Once returner, never returner, or 4 destroyers. 먼저 방식 면도 되나?
네. 어다 당대 점잖아다 군주 유바 윤대니지 지롱스디가라 야 초가 거래네 기와진이 시거래 다 지미용스디가란 다초 미용야 텐트 다 기와 까바 닌다 점스디도 윤대니도 시작거래스.
So when you look at page 212, in your note, 8 approachers and abiders are beings who are approaching to or abiding in the fruits of stream enterer. Stream enterer, once returner, never returner, or 4 destroyers. So for these 4, it has 2 sets. So total become 8. And stream enterer we mentioned before, and once returner refers to the reborning once again in the cyclic existence. And never returner means completely free, or they never are reborn again in the cyclic existence, or completely free from the cyclic existence.
What are those states? 다 장선 원기 처럼 기내 값수 갈체 짬에 숨기 쳐서 버티지인스. 다 장주 세반한 게 지단에 다디 지라마 투모마인 버지들마다 또 투모마인 버차대. 사람 갑도 사람 짱짱라 가제tam에 숨도 저고레스 저버치지 데니 칼버기야 천상기 교도 소소니 칼버기에 버도 천상부 숨주성이 배제성부 기주 여러 좀 된데기 상기 오다 디규리 칼버기 걸투고 그레스 두데 시파타메지 장주 신루도 다 장선 시파타마와데 아니 장주 신루라 레부두두 wula nyambarja ta nyomo vedul dan lepi dute dulde lepi dute wula nyambarja petse jorlam thonlam gomlam sum ngondo chene thora kene shawachana milobla ngondo cheto sitigala ta di tagi kondon ro sandina jorthong gomsum tento chila gudo chatamelola tena tende indigala sollo dudulwa yenche soski ne kapta page jeba chuni nan sungore sume korgin gerol ni bardi page sollo dudulwa yen pardo jeba gude soski o jepares tate chera mau tumo mai bare dure yenche la tendi lag mare ani sange jepa chogor ko ven jepa nyangal ne ben jepa sumde sange gin jepares jajan 점된 상기 긴제발라 숨마다 자고 말해 대면치 소스키 언제발 소스키오레스 거야 어때 상기 긴제발은 제가 중이 자 간지 맞아봐 또 수치라마일로라 거나 또 차고 와래 숨이 거기 개론이 다 솔로 둘둘 버도 제바고 중이 나나고 어다도 소스키 긴제바지 타마선데 상기 긴제바 te dua da tinja chasen gi jor do nyambra jeni ke pan to jeba chuni tambu ku chasen dang chanju seba in jeba res chimas sangin jeba kele no chimas sum se yade ta de kon ta te sum tere ata dos
page 214 they maintain that the 8 types of approaches and abiders are necessarily superiors. Bodhisattvas such as Shakyamuni complete their collections of merit and wisdom over 3 periods of countless great eons during the path of accumulation. So, here this is very unique interpretation of this school. Having done this, they achieve the causes of the excellent marks of Buddha over 900 eons, and then in their final life vanquish the array of demons at twilight while seated beside the tree of enlightenment. At midnight, while in meditative equipoise, they actualize the three parts of preparation: seeing and meditation. Later, just prior to dawn, they actualize the path of normal learning and become a Buddha. So, as said before, you can see here, according to this school, within one session of meditation or meditative equipoise, the practitioner kind of attains all these three paths: path of preparation, seeing, and meditation, continuously. Therefore, from among the 12 deeds of the Buddha, they consider that the taming of the demons at twilight and the preceding deeds are performed when a common being, and that the three bodhisattvas' path of preparation, seeing, and meditation are all only meditative equipoise, because they occur only during meditative sitting. Of the 12 deeds, the first 9 are asserted to be the deeds of Bodhisattva, and the last 3 are asserted to be the deeds of Buddha. So the 12 deeds of Buddha, it is in your note here. And from the 12, this is also a unique interpretation of this school. All 12 deeds are not deeds of Buddha. According to this school, they say that the first 9, 1 to 9 are the deeds of, as said here, ordinary being or Bodhisattva. It's a Bodhisattva, but from 10, 11, 12, these 3 are the deeds of enlightened being. So this is the one difference that you can see as compared to other schools.
chocolate tonam ki chabata lungi chocolate denji chocolate chabanta dos tate chocolate de chugi kola tonam sate je chi tagarare ta tonam sidigala dembangon to sigore dembangon to tonam ki dembangon to se demba karase de ta dila manta kaza arake to binzegi dagi tonwa topel dati dagi Ratu Madubate, Dembati Charia. He Munsum Tobat, the Mondos. That he didn't that Shogola and Tolamge. Kazan Shezokajima Judunani, Judubal Lamjishi, Gomlamajane. He mentioned the Chazan Tonamba. What that he Shezokajima Judun and Jongapur Tonam Dogo. What that do? tobi chogola tonam chang mado ya gomlam bigi tobata to jago mare karir chini jago marzena chiramayulula phagi yul waranisi dembaji chogo koryondu gala ani phagi karsore kushuku tine ta tatul 나보다 자된세도 코로나데 장보여래. 코로나데 장배나니 99에 뜨니길래 통남 살도 깨와다. 아니 들라지 니 주기라 주미기라테 소게 아니베 알라라 사림바투도 여바래. 사유 텐디치니 다 세마 텐디 중디가라. 아니 라티도 베 카르솔라가베 라티도 지용디가라. 점된디 이 버기 초골코네 99에 뜨니길라 통남 살도 깨와다. Sarimbat Sayuate, Pet Sonam Macho Sayores Quarta. Indigenini, Chick Pagi, Alala, Zamuni Chikoro, then Lalam in Dataris. Then data be using that Chetamogula, Chokorina, Tonami Gores, isn't it? Go. That's those days. And Lungi Chocola, Vinci Chocor. That's lungi chokorene deji chokor madoya 즉 점바 chokor 점바 점된데기 수문거는 계속 킬링 거 말해. 어떤 신의 되지 chokor 인구를 덴바지 chokor 말해. 야 말 lungi chokor이나 덴바지 chokor 인구를 해서 소가. 근데 주모만 거 차대. 코로나에 전부터는 이기는 도
코로나의 상황도
네. 다툴나 보 잔된 데가
Page 215, second paragraph. The proponents of the Great Exposition assert that wheel of doctrine is necessarily a part of seeing, and that the verbal wheel of doctrine is necessarily a wheel of doctrine of the Four Truths. The proponents of the Great Exposition assert that the wheel of doctrine is necessarily a part of seeing. So part of seeing, part of seeing, the another name of the part of seeing is actualizations of the truth. Truth actualization is another. It is the definition of the meaning, the actualizations of the truth or truth actualization, and at this stage, the practitioners, realize or attain the realizations that of the lack of existence of the self-sufficient self. Sufficient person. I think we mentioned this before. Person lack of being self-sufficient is another way of saying. And from this 주투 가르치는 거 주투 당분의 정하고도 통남에서.
되게 저시까지만 주투스도 열었어. 세바게다 소바게. 되는 주투 발람 지셔도 곰람에서 그래서 물론도 상하지. 정아 이다 통남도 거다. 대마다 시작까지만 주투나니 정아 통남인데 정아 다 저걸 했을 거야.
When it says here, the wheel of doctrine is necessarily a part of seeing, you can look at page 208, and this, the 16 moments of forbearance and knowledge. So it is given here. So according to this school, first to 15 is the part of seeing, and when Buddha gave the teaching, these all kind of is within this range of 1 to 15. And when they attain the 16 is, according to this school, is their path of meditation. How they categorize. And why, path of seeing is necessarily, the wheel of doctrine. The Buddha gave, the first teaching at Sarnath Varanasi, first 5 disciples, and one of the disciples, Kunshi Kotini is the name, Kotini, and when he receives, the first teaching, it, generated the part of seeing within his mind stream for the first time, and when that happened, as a kind of evidence, or because of the true auspiciousness, the earth shake, there's a movement, sort of earthquake, and there was a sound from the God realm that Sayuni Data is there.
Dini Sukam, Dini Sume Dosine, Karchala Kawa Lanamki, Alalan. Zamunin Chuku Koro data. The insanta chocolate they are using the.
So wheel of doctrine or wheel of turning of the doctrine according to this school has to be a part of seeing, and the reason as I was saying before, when Kotini generated a part of first part of seeing within his mind stream. The deities of the 3 realm, desire, form, and formless realms, kind of pronounced that now the teaching has been taught on earth. So they use that as a reason, for this statement, the wheel of doctrine is necessarily a part of seeing. And whatever the wheel of doctrine Buddha taught has to be a part of seeing. And verbal wheel of doctrine or scriptural teachings is necessarily the wheel of doctrine of four truths according to this school. The next is the next paragraph 215. The proponents of the Great Exposition said that the 7 treatises of manifest knowledge were spoken by Buddha and written down by 4 destroyers. But according to the higher school of thoughts, these were not, treatises of 7 treatises of knowledge were not spoken by Buddha. It's by the Sanghya Marisra. These 7 treatises of manifest knowledge were composed or were taught by 4 destroyers, not by Buddha.
Yeti mado jidong killing mares. Ta chuki pumu yeti the candes chigar zidgala doshala cheba niti jedang cheba niti timul cheba niti tuzum changimal niti chene dos chene te nyambon dogen dos chene jagor te indigal niti mado chagwa tuta come ola niti yeti jidong jagor ndi ola niti mado jagor
The next, they say that Buddha's word is always literal. So another word is they don't accept the interpretation of the text. Whatever Buddha taught is what it shows in the text. It's literally interpretation. So apart from the 80,000 bundles of doctrine, they do not accept the presentation of 84,000 bundles of doctrine. So as you see here, the higher school of thoughts, they interpret that Buddha's teaching, has 84,000, but this school says only 80,000. And this statement they are based upon Vasubandhu's treasury of manifest knowledge, which says that those 80,000 bundles of doctrine which was spoken by the Sadguru, and this is the a quote that they rely upon for their interpretation that Buddha only taught 80,000 bundles of doctrine, not 84,000. And this 84,000, it is in the note, your note. For the 3 afflictive emotions, desire, hatred, and ignorance, they are 2,000 for each. 2,000 for desire, 2,000 and 2,000 for hatred, 20,000 for desire, 20,000 for hatred, 20,000 for ignorance, and 20,000 for all 3 together collectively. So that's how they come to the conclusion of 80,000. But according to the higher school of thoughts, 80,000 and according to higher school, there's a presentation of 84,000. The 84,000 is, instead of 20, you can, their classification is 21,000 for each of the, 3, and then 21,000 for all together. And the purpose is because there are 84,000 different, delusions or afflictions or defilements, and to as an antidote for each of these, Buddha taught 81 or 84 bundles of teachings.
그 남장 망보라. 아니 뒤마세베 저와 토마 매번 꼼데라. 가보대 가보래.
So, the afflictive emotions or delusions or defilements within us, as said here, categorized or classified into 84,000, and it is not something kind of, easy to eliminate everything from ourselves. And the another reason is because we are familiar with negative mentalities since from the time in the beginningless.
아니 주부이 체자다네 만다 뭐빼면 보여래. 단당히 유야데 랑루르 자다데 유고 유여래지. 뇽몽 찌기 님보 뇽몽 나찌기 님보 너의 취지라 주봉지 세세거.
지라마로라.
다들 좀다 찾아나래. 이나때 자다 개발수 그 말아요. 랑진지기에 니베 나사기 뒤에 니베 취지라 주봉 세생에서 다들 남 감이나 망보여 개발수 그 자다.
랑진지 거래?
랑진지기 교택이 나사여와 되게 주셔요. 그것들이 망보여. 좀더 좀 빼먹어요. 자다 만다요. 다다다디 뇽몽지기 님보 조이 취지라 주봉지 세거.
뇽몽지기.
뇽몽지기. 뇽몽데 되게 장해서 도차 에게티 예 도차니티 제당니티 티무니티 두숨 참바 창임바니티 다대님보 도겐 니티 지도치.
So, as said before, why there are 84,000 bundle is because there are 84,000, negative mentalities or delusions. And there are different interpretation of how much is, what is one bundle. So the general interpretation is one bundle is antidote for one, delusion. But there are some, many other interpretation, and one interpretation is, one bundle is equivalent to the teachings. 랑진지기 나서 조절하나?
랑진지기 나자여와. 랑진지기 계약이 나자되게 뒤샤게 죄들 주고 지자고. 그래서 개발까지 자당지래.
One group of scholars interpret that one bundle is equal to scriptures written by the ink. One load of elephant ink. Elephant carries I don't know how much, but whatever they can carry. And written by that ink is one bundle of teaching.
내베스는 말아. 단다 치마데 집에는 빼야보도. 저번 뇽몽지기 님벌로 취지라 주부지 스리가라 남바 상기비 최코라 생긴 둘이야 탑시라와. 뇽몽 둘이야 탑시라. 뇽몽을 가도 자야 탑시라. 이디플라 따다를 전부도 와서.
So from these two interpretation, the previous more common is looks more appropriate as compared to the second, because the Buddhism teaching itself is meant to eliminate or the fight against the negative emotions. So one bundle written for one negative emotion is it makes more kind of sense. And therefore, as said before, for 3 desire, hatred, and ignorance, 2,000 each, and then 4 bundle. For all 3 together, it is a 4th bundle. So, 4 bundles.
그빈들수 망보잔 라벤데나 고토미야로 왔다 또또딘 돈도데 테레스 기주디가라 타타 라트 부용도 와서.
So this is the main interpretation which makes more sense or most appropriate. The many other interpretation might be just complicated or confusing.
장선 시파 탐마비 장중문도 주변에니 녹음 권한에 비해서 오면 두부고 바당 롱귀 남자 케밀레 노스. 아데지가 지라마일로라 좀 된데 상기비 네데 야가도 제대 인도가라 야가도 제대 드바 드베니 차데와 저선 드발라 상기 그래 다가 라운드마다 배 룽기 남자당 아니 사지 남자한테 켈리 코란 링고 말 이가라 오문 두고 비진 감정에 켈링고 말 룽기 되래 말한주 오민들라 주든바 오민다 저게 바 오민이지 잘 거래 주든바 오민데 다좀베네 다좀라 다좀베네 밥에네 상가자 그래 밥에네 사래 주든바 오민데 저게 바 오민데 룽기네 사래 내가 거르장주 세바 쩌지 그 거래 아니 배 직가래 뇌 거라나라 가르잖아 주기 간다 오민도 데베 간다 주감주 상계 넘버 창미자지 주기 간다 오민도 도자달진 창갸오 우즈송래 인디가라 다 두다 코멜룰라 데베 감라 사르토 상계 네시로 말이 팅 까제데 삽 간다 도제데나 상계야레 상계 빈 제바레 마도 상계 물라 오민나 상계 사레 제상 상계니 룽귀 ngola 상계 ini lungkuta ngaranzu susikiola longche tugu me insa ini ta chok tugu namba thene ini chok ko to sine sangi japaten jabale sesiko to homelola to ta homelola ta jara maolula ta ka rang sangi bare doje den la sangi bare ta ka rang re ma to ngoyo nizu khana thon to ta ka rang re ma to ti kiringo mare oda then lungkuta teneke kelego mare zemi ji ishi sigorda 상기기 투기 시달에 재미시 시달라게 엄마도 양 즉 남편한테 내키는 거 봐. 어떻게죠? 캠바나다. 아니 네가 자주 말해. 수가 좀 돼.
그래도 주신 괜찮아.
디와다나.
Page 216 the place where the middle paragraph, the place where Buddhist bodhisattvas actualize enlightenment during their last lifetime is definitely just the desire realm. Therefore, the proponents of the great exposition do not assert a presentation of a heavily adorned highest pure land or an enjoyment body. So, so what they are saying is, Buddha Shakyamuni, which enlightened in Bodh Gaya under the Bodhi tree, is the reality. That is, who Buddha is, and the places where Buddha enlightened. But according to the higher realm, higher tenets, they says that whatever Buddha, the historical Buddha is just a deeds of Buddha. It's not actual Buddha. He has already enlightened before in the highest pure land. And what he did in Bodh Gaya is just a deed, that he performed. It's just a performance. It's not actually, because according to the higher tenets, there is no achieving of new enlightenment in the desire realm. Desire realm is not the location of the first enlightenment. So Buddha Shakyamuni, although enlightened in the form of complete enjoyment body, but when he did the teaching, he did the teaching in the emanation body, because in the form of enjoyment body, the ordinary sentient beings won't be able to, receive, or won't be able to, kind of encounter. And so he, gave teaching in the form of emanation body. And 217 it says, not only this, but they also do not accept omniscience, because they only assert all knowingness, as mentioned above. And according to the higher tenets, not only the higher tenets, unlike this school, the heavily adorned highest pure land in the Walkmin is the Tibetan word. The Walkmin has, according to the higher tenets, it has 18 stages, and the 17 is the stages of the superior beings, or arhat, the stage field or occupied entirely by the superior beings, and then stage 18 is the stages or level where there is a complete enjoyment body of the Buddha surrounded by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. But here you can see, they don't accept all this, heavily atoned pure land or enjoyment body. They accept, as said before, historical Buddha Shakyamuni is, what he performed was, that was real. It's not deed or performance as interpreted by the higher schools. We'll stop here, and if you have any questions.
Mumba didn't reach among Peja came was.
Mumba didn't, yeah.
They didn't drunk at it.
Mumba
didn't do it. Didn't you want to do it?
Mumba didn't call this thing. Mumba didn't
the jungle like Jabdo.
7 treaties of manifest knowledge. Mumba didn't mean to. What didn't dinner your changana? No, change your. Dinale, and dinner your. You know the tongue is a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
When they speak of the 84,000 bundles of teachings or 84,000 afflictive emotions, is that for all 6 levels of beings and the 6 realms of samsara, or is that just for humans, or is that something separate?
주문 게르시던 묘문 게르시던 도함이 저보래 감 상말 열어서 감 두갈 여기
제가 묘문 땅도 라인데긴 차상을 열어야지 묘문은 념부 땡길라다 또슬레스 차그러와.
It acts basically in all sentient beings who has delusions or it doesn't matter the size or power of the body, even the smallest insects, as long as they have a delusions or ignorance, it is considered that they have all these 84,000 levels. I usually mention about the 7 treaties of 7 principal treaties of if you need that the 7 treaties of manifest knowledge. I have this list here. These 7. I'll just read it and let me know if you want the list. These 7 here says the entering the wisdom by Katyayana, and the second is thorough discernment by Vasumitra. Third is collection of consciousnesses by Brahmin Devutsawa, and fourth is Dharma aggregates by Shariputra, and then sixth is enumeration of migrators by Mahakostila, and 7 is collection of space by Purna. So these are the 7 principle of treaties of it's on page if you manifest knowledge, but
say that was on page 83.
Page 215. Yeah, it says the 7 treaties of manifest knowledge, and I just mentioned these 7 treaties. Yeah.
So of the 84,000, how many of those are still on Earth?
84 lagi amaris. Tuta bola 80,000 motherfucker.
Chibun geri shidonege, nyumon geri shidone, nyumon maluk. You mean Earth? How many on Earth? What's your question?
The 84,000 bundles of teaching.
Another 84 killing matter. 80,000 mother.
Chidangoran chubun geri shidon yoro. Geri shidon zambulin 가준내야 돼요. 그래서 단대철.
아이.
단대철 chubun 가준내야 돼요.
미래를 regular. 그 zambulin 가준내 미 가준 도시. 미래를 regular. 그런 단가 yap았어.
chubun geri shidon으로 쉬어야 돼.
chubun 시거래 묘몽 시거.
chubun.
다 가준내에 당가라서 묘몽들 가득 자투구에는 chubun 내려요. 묘몽을 가득 잡으면 주분에야 가보러
So
녀몽 님보러 와. 님보 누구면은 니랍셔야 위할 말에. 김비 생각되긴 좀 하다.
You know, it depends on one's own practice. If you are able to use, you know, to as antidotes for your, you know, for any of the, you know, 84,000 or 80,000 according to the school, you can say that, you know, that exist. But whether these, how many of them exist on Earth is, you know, he can't say just as if it is the object of the knowledge by only omniscient mind.
Then, 결혼선이 지지라 그라 녀몽 지지던 거래스. 무춘춘지는 녀몽 지던 거래. 그럼 물라 이 녀본 로야기 사모 거래다 때주 레파디 엄마와. 나랑서 미 레파요. 삼로 셈젤 시작이 삼로타나 삼로탕 투부 뉴르보 벽보 투번에 진짜와 제통인지 민 남자여래. 나랑서 녀몽 뭐 마신다 칼 알레 가서 칼레도. 디지 삼당다. 녀몽 즈메진니 대 녀몽 ngar kombe wangi kayala kale towa chu giri don ji nga zo gulai leya duk ta ka dang sam bana to su ka bo 탑시 쟁이지 왕도 당나 다 탑시 미지 왕 하마고 건을 때리게 다 그저 그런 셈이도 진짜
You know, about your question when you ask where how many of them exist on the earth, you are asking, was Geshe-la is answering within the mind stream of one consciousness. Are you asking where it is located or how many, you know, in terms of?
Well, I mean, like when they talk about like the Dharma going into decline and some of the teachings getting lost, like on paper, like if the Buddha
yeah, that's what
84,000, 2,500 years ago, do those still? Like, are there still beings that have those teachings? Like when they talk about the Dharma is going to decline when the Freya comes.
상계 덴바 가리걸 높고로서 엔 당보 상계기 추된 디자말 슈봉계리 시동 차산된으로서 대연데 다 단대기네 갑라 가주지네 되어를 가가스 그 높사를 주어된 있었다.
딜랍스트예요 말이스. 제가 뉴몽 님보스도가라 뉴몽 나란조 가주지 미래레기 뉴몽다나 미들을 추 뉴몽 지긴 나지 뉴르다이나 주bun치 덴바레 뉴몽 나추지 뉴르다나 주bun치 덴바레 뉴몽 탐집 라 님보텐투구에나 주bun치 지던데 덴바레
배저거랑 여러 요만을 넣어서
배자데 말해 배자가 그러면 추 뉴몽 님본 로마로 가지데 띵냠랭 거라 자고마다 배저 부디지는 되게 나서 랍다 잡아차게
그쵸 풍부로도 냠려는 고고를 배저날 요만을
배자스 드니베 배자 셔요 말했지 가기 고 님보로 그래 시르갈라 즉 가기 냠렌을 자르고도
so like I said, you know, it doesn't mean that when it says 84,000 doesn't mean that, you know, literally there's 84,000 texts or scriptures out there. It is more in terms of application of these practices for your, you know, elimination or, you know, destruction of negative mentalities. So if you are able to eliminate, you know, several amount of negativities, you can say that, you know, those antidotes, you know, still exist or still present. And for us, it might be difficult because when we look at our own negative mentalities, it is very difficult, you know, first, you know, to identify what are these negative mentalities, and it takes us a lot of effort, you know, to identify the different negative mentalities or delusions or afflictions. And of course, as we, you know, it becomes more complicated, more difficult for us to, you know, going into the second step of, you know, eliminations of negative mentalities. So when you look from that perspective, for us, you know, it is really kind of difficult to possess all these, you know, bundles of teachings.
What exactly are they saying there's a lack of when they assert the lack of a self-sufficient self?
Lack of self-sufficient. Concerning
That's the word that I want to know more precisely.
sense of being self-sufficient, right?
What they mean by self-sufficient.
Kansa rangya tu balay del khande ko godes.
Oh. Rangya tu sta. Tatela rangya tu dela rangya chinen na pa. Kansa. Sumine jin chi sungare. Kare. Kansa rangya tu binje. Binje ni bi oten zeinda. Rangya tu sidgala. 풍부다 되는람 랑이 체면가 발라 랑게 ngo마기베 취진 체면가 발라 뜨고 싶어지나 랑이 체면가 발라 랑기 ngo마기베 취진 체면가 발라 뜨미고 바데 랑게 투바데 뜨고 바데 랑게 미투바 차데요 그래서 가자 체면에 발라 저라 마오 고랑기 풍부 되나 풍부다 되는라 말해봐 가사 시자야 미도 풍부가 차세긴 중에 이제 간식 풍부를 뜨고도 풍부를 말해봐 가사 내야 미 고람도 세상코 내발라 주진을 뜨고도 이 말해봐지 요이나 다 rangya to be this too sorry. The multiple means Taco Injim Jilta wins rangya to be this Matuba Chadi. Then the thing is singing Peja came with the answer. In good, Direct, Dina Savos in the door.
Self-sufficient here, when we look at the a personal self, there's no independent existence of the self without relying upon the aggregate. So in order to in order to present the existence of the self or person, you need to rely upon the aggregate. So when there's an aggregate, you can say that there's a self and person. But without relying upon the aggregate, there is no self. So, so here, the self-sufficient is apprehension or comprehension that self exists independently without relying upon aggregates. Which is not true, which is not reality.
Tendi indugala kasang pagi karsa mangur denge nane mangur dengagi rangya tibin jegi dati tuba kherang lingyo marte tako 가르잖아. 라이카 투빈 제기 다도 투바 켈링 누구도가. 가르잖아. 라이카 투빈 제기 다도 그 풍불에 된셈바연 풍불에 된셈바연나. 다 풍보다 만레버지나. 풍봉아 여버진도 다댕하고도. 풍보다 찌나니 찌도 여러버지니 풍보에니 라치 임바진도 풍봉하게 돼 찌인고도. 그때 삼다데 배 개발은 제 맛이 있는데 풍보다 저드메 모지나 저드메 모 타데르즈네 저드메 저메기 다 켈링죠 마도 저드메 랭가 인자 저메기 다 코로나 저드메 저메기 다 켈링도 라게토 빈제기 다 켈링도 누구도스데 또 고마가 대순 거라 거기 파기 답에 섬로탄탄탄네 풍보도 배 하기 풍부던 가서 말퇴바디 라 하기 말퇴바지 매 인자때 자 마시비지 쟤네 그다 가서 그래 주미기 다데 킬린 거죠 킬린도 킬린 바래 세고 이 쿵대양 풍봉하는 그거 앞으로는 가사고서 도텔 쿵도 그거 가사가 나한테 도대 때마다 요 말아
디 콩투니 주맥다 콩투서 데레세
어떻게 다 좀 제대로 다 생각이 도대다더래 쿠르와포다 쿠르와포 주도 여기서는 제번 뽐보선지 풍풍하대 가기 나한테 뽐보서지 아니 근데지 주도 여기서는 땡자로 와다 풍풍하는 쿠르와포는 강사고 풍풍하대 쿠르레스 그런데 소리를 강사를 해서 여기서는 땡자로 다 여기서
딜 시샤네 가서 디 주맥다 시샤서 도데레세
오다 딜 도텔 때니 아니 망고데가 다 주맥다 켈렌 바르스 그거 개박하지 아니 개박하시게 켈렌도 소라마다 켈렌바 말했을 때 한테는 승어요 그비타 제출 말아요
If you remember from the previous teaching, at the beginning of the text, one of the sub-school of this school, they accept a self called, unexpressible. So why they kind of end up in, interpreting this way is because when you ask them a question, if self exists, how does self exist? Does it exist, with the aggregate? If that is the case, there are 5 aggregates. There should be 5 self, which they don't accept. And if there's if self and the aggregates are so their interpretation of self is not exactly the same as aggregate. Nor they have the same nature. And so when you ask this question, the answer is it's unexpressible. And they rely this upon I think. We mentioned this before too. In the sutra, it says there's a verse which says that 5 aggregates are the burden, and the person or the self is the carrier of that burden. So, relying upon this kind of sutra, they says that the self or the person that they interpret is kind of they don't say that it's has a one nature with the aggregate. Also, they don't interpret that it is totally separate from aggregate. So there is a self, but it is unexpressible. And then there are different interpretation by the different scholars. Some says that when this sub-school says this, they are actually accepting a self which is inexpressible. But some are saying that this is just a way of saying they don't actually accepts the self totally independent from aggregate.
Yeah.
I'm not understanding what they mean by forbearance. 207. One builds facility or non-to with respect to the art of communication.
207.
Yeah.
Subsequent knowledge. Path of seeing called subsequent knowledge of the path. Page 207.
Yeah, in the English version, it's in the embedded
Oh,
paragraph.
the path of seeing is the time when direct cognition of the Four Noble Truths occurs. This parts of forbearance. Shepherd Sepalesta, Sepaleta, Sepagi, Carson, Sepaleta Carson Lagos, Tendado Cochamas.
Ale.
She said the letter, Shepherd Sepaledo, Sepal Lamley, Sepaleta Carson Lagos.
Shebaji, Shebai, yet Shizukajimachu. 인규
Tishi to tenda tagaran tishi to khaji.
Karela.
Seba mai seba laide.
Inyo wazo pagi de jaraje sheba keto soba keto inyo karela. Pangcha palan le jargu war jare. Kunjung jishi kunjung jizde dembajile jarni shego.
Seba lai jore de khatsik de ko khwa khare kho gore sa. Seba lai de. Di peja khola nam de min de inji dal de she shore dinal tishi sho.
Odene karla.
Part of seeing is the time when direct recognition for the truth. Thonglam de da karsa direct recognition for the denshi thangbo ngwe su tok ba shoro de la thonglam la gore la sha and de la de soba la gore ka jana and the couple any gomje ki mikba de la soyo ba la gore shina me ba la gore and the de ki ti gores color tungen la gore
Injuta tuta koma chanata tuta om va marwa to indugala jina legi ke marte tuta koma chana one toni mun to indo thage damate na jina one ongwa petta mindu samsamji lo chare ongwa tingam ta shibile kanche nyomung pawala bezu chimbo machina ko mui nyombo pagi nyombo chimboji zen ten mato pagi pangtu khora yamarwa panja de namra mangboji kompa shu chumbo yega khol khatse mangboji kyamne tengu 당부 장 셰바지 시내니 바기 빵자 빵야 되라 any be zosen tenji panguwa.
So here, the part of forbearance sort of refers to the when you try to eliminate, or adopt the antidotes to eliminate negativities, or one needs to put an immense effort, and one needs to be able to tolerate, this hardship or this effort, and because as said before, the object of elimination is kind of intense. So based on the level of object of elimination, you need to be balance your effort, your hardship that you need to be investing in these eliminations of what is called object of elimination or object of abandonment. So there is a specific interpretation of using this forbearance at the level of different path, how objects are eliminated, using or relating to the path of forbearance. In the text of the Treatise of Knowledge, and Kishal said he will look into the text, and he don't remember every details of the explanation. It's almost been 10 years not reading that text. Yeah.
The chart on 208 in the for each noble truth, there's a pair. And the first pair is in the desire realm, and there's a second pair is in the higher realm. I'm curious. I mean, it seems like considering the desire realm is obvious because we're here. But how can a person consider the higher realm without being at the
konsuki dijik soyasharo de la shesu keji ma jurude de shesu keji ma jurude la sobache shebache dene Shepherd Sobadi did Tajan Dusi, the get the Dembashi the teacher door. Dembashi Nalon and Dembashi again, they'll come the come Komache, they'll come the come Komache, Ni Yeshado. They'll come the Koran Haku, those are down to the come get image, and that come Komala can teach or Chapu, Lagos, the best in Dembashi.
Or that come Komala Shebagi in the Valami, Zabagi the coming no Molamiko.
So when you look at the 16, when you look at this table, you can see the 16, the first to 16, and the higher realms, under the higher realms, when you look from the 16, these are all, subsequent forbearance and subsequent knowledge. It's all under subsequent. The subsequent, when it says subsequent, the target or the object of the observation is the delusion or the afflictions of the higher realm, not desire realm.
Something in which to go to something which is common semro. Mazu semle tare. Eating as regular Gomdogit the Kayorwa. The Kevala come Pagi Numomaban, Yonayamarwa.
When we meditate, for example, we meditate when we do the meditation. When we do the meditation, we are in the desire realm. But through the practice of meditation, we can generate or we can attain the actual stage of the higher realm or higher realm. So when we do that, although we are beings of the desire realm, but through meditation we can generate the thoughts or we can generate stage or level of the higher realm.
Something you wish to do,
and it is not unique to Buddhism. The actual meditative absorption. This is I'm looking for the right word. Actual meditation, actual stage of meditation. This is considered as the stage of the higher realm, and that can be attained. Not only by Buddhists, but there are many practitioners of non-Buddhists who can also achieve, or attain this level of meditative absorption or concentration level of this stage. Okay, last question. Now I need to put 1 minute. Yeah.
When all that is happening, like when the mind is going through those 15 stages in that meditative sitting, is the body still breathing? Like is there still body function, or does the body completely shut down in order to realize that?
시에서까지 맞추려도 되잖아. 소복이 내단 한대요. 그래서 소복 남규나 시랑자를 야만에 가르고래. 풍복이 내다.
시서까지 맞추도 돼.
당연히
지금 말해서 안 용기게냐.
Like he said, he can't answer that, completely because he doesn't have any experience of, these 16 stages. He said, no experience, no meditation,
Gom Janen Gonyum, but the Tegitilla, Moni Pagi Tangaranzunajinji, Father Tenetem Open, Lomampupe, Gobin into the June, they intended, Yunguar, Shepatamo Tamo, Monticune, take out, take God, and later Yunguar mother. She's a Kichimichu with other Didani, like she's American.
Meditative Gopenyum Jura.
Gopenyum Jupa.
a meditative absorption in cessation. This is, meditative absorption in cessation. I'll just read a state of meditation achieved in reliance upon the meditative absorption at the peak level of cyclic existence, in which a yogi can remain for many eons through stopping all gross feelings and perceptions, synonymous with the emancipation of cessation. So this at this meditative absorption in cessation, the practitioners can stay on this for many years, for a long time. But like I said, he is not exactly sure about the practitioner's kind of meditative state related to these 16 moments of forbearance and knowledge.
Yeah. Hare Rave Kore Shingam Se Pendang Dewa Mali Jongwe Ne Chere Ziwa Tenzi Jansu Chere Sile Badu Dengyu Je Jambu Bavi Jibra Jamba Da Kondo Zambo Diyan Dishin De Teda Kungi Enja Sangala Yawa Deda Tamje Rabdo Tuzum Shepen Yawa Tamje Gyo Ganglo Chodo Ngapa Denda Shingebe Zawa Sangma Jeje Rabdo Waraike in the land and circled by snow white mountains, the source of all happiness and benefits, both in your person shall receive tens and jars of remained until samsara ends. Just as the Bodhisattva usually attain omniscience and samanava to true. So now I do take it to train and follow. As all the victorious Buddhas of past, present, and future, praise the illumination of the Supreme. So now I do take it for all things to perfect their actions. Oh yeah, thank you.